Welcome to I think it's like the fifth episode of the Degenerate Gamblers. I think it's the fifth. Anyway, how you guys doing, man? It's Monday morning. Although we don't play Monday morning quarterback out here. Now, you make your decisions, you stick by them. It is what it is, man. It's the way the world works. Wild weekend in NCAA football and the NFL, but wild weekend in NCAA football. If you listened to the pod last week, hopefully you paid attention and made some decisions based on what we went over last week. Was this a 50 unit weekend? Did we win 200 units like the last three weekends? No, we didn't. But we won about 10. We won about 10 or 11 units, 10 plus units on Saturday. Decent day in the NFL yesterday. I don't know how you did, but let's get into it. Listen, we started Thursday night. And we started Thursday night. I think we had South Alabama going into visit Appalachian State. Um, I mean, I didn't love the game. I had a lot of people like, who are you on, Howie? I didn't really love the game. Appalachian State was a decent favorite. South Alabama went in and just tore them a new ass. South Alabama, the Jaguars, uh, solid program. They have a big game coming up this weekend. I want to say my head is scrambled, but I think they're going to Mississippi. Um, I think they're going to Mississippi. I hope that I am correct. I'm 90% sure I am, but we'll go over that game after. Anyways, listen, man. South Alabama went in, they took care of business. Uh, they were an underdog. Then you had Friday, you had Stanford at Syracuse. And we said on this show, if you listen, the line was like 9.5. And I said, it's too high. It's going to be a close game. I said, I think Syracuse has a chance to win, but it's going to be a close game. Stanford won outright. Um, if you looked at the games on Thursday and Friday, if you look at those three games, basically all the underdogs covered. All right, it is what it is. All the underdogs covered. Stanford beat Syracuse. Illinois ended up beating Nebraska. Nebraska was what, 7-point favorite. San Jose State lost to Washington State by 2. They were 6.5 point favorites. All the dogs won Thursday and Friday, all four. If you just didn't know anything about betting sports, you just bet the underdogs. You would have won. We didn't like a lot of games those nights. We waited patiently because to bank in this business, you got to be patient. We woke up Saturday morning. First thing I did Saturday is I sent out a tweet. And I don't do this much. I don't like giving out free information. I mean, I busted my ass all week looking at these games, and I loved Army. If you listen to the pod last week, I loved Army with this triple option, playing Rice, having to go up to Mikey Stadium and at West Point. The line was -7.5. We bought a point, got it down to 6.5. Army won 37-14. Wasn't even close. But the tweet I put out, I said, look, I'll look it up right now. I said, lock of the week, pick of the week. I had Army and Florida State is my parlay of the week. Army money line, Florida State money line, plus 190, plus 190. I said, take it to the bank. It's right there. It's right there. That's the tweet. Army won easy. Florida State, that was my pick of the week. That was where most of my money went on Florida State. Army made it look beautiful. Florida State made it look ugly. That was a rough game to watch. But it doesn't matter how you win. As long as you win, as long as you cover, baby. Florida State won. That made our weekend. So we get into it Saturday. Saturday was a big day. We start off with Army, bank that quickly, easily. That was a 5-unit play. Then we had a couple teasers. We had Cincinnati, they covered. We had Georgia Tech plus, I think 13.5, they covered. Miami of Ohio, obviously playing Notre Dame, they covered that 28.5. Miami or Notre Dame can't cover against these MAC teams. But now they get into their cake schedule. I still don't think they get a playoff bid. I don't. They just have a weak schedule. Miami went up 3-0 in that game. It took Notre Dame a few quarters to get back, but they didn't cover. The two losers I had during the day, I had a little bit on Florida Atlantic, not much at Connecticut. They got blown out. And the game that I liked Ohio University over Kentucky. If you watch the game, they made an announcement like, what, 15 minutes before the game that the Ohio quarterback wasn't going to play. I don't know, stubbed his toe. Who the hell knows? But, the backup threw an interception. They fumbled when they got down there. They should have covered the game easy. They didn't. We don't make excuses here. It is what it is. We had enough winners to offset that, so it worked okay, especially in the afternoon. We get into the evening because my two biggest plays of the weekend, as you know, if you listen to last week, were Florida State. Because I said last week, I said Florida State is 0-3 so far. They haven't won a game yet. I said yet. I loved them this weekend, playing California. I felt that line was shady as them being a favorite, being 0-3, California, beating Auburn at Auburn. The line should have been 7 or 8. It wasn't. Florida State, I was all over it. And the other one was the over-under on the Mississippi-Georgia Southern game. I got it down to 59.5 and used it in every parlay that I had. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Let's talk about hedging. Because I'll give you a hint right now. The guys wanted it on the Discord. Go to whop.com, WHOP.com. Go to Howie Dewey on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Get into the Discord, man. We got a good crew in the Discord. I mean, it's 3 weeks in a row we made money. That's the bottom line. I'm not one of those guys. I'm not going to say, yeah, we were 8-2. We were 11-1 this weekend. We're hitting 90%. No. I'd rather be 2-3, but loading my 2 games that I won, maybe 5-unit games, and losing 3 games with 1 unit. Let's look at the units. That's what it's about. It's about the greenbacks in your wallet, baby. That's what it comes down to. And this game's all about money management. You want to win the big games. You want to load the big games. And you know what? If you have 1 or 2 units on a game you lose, so what? You're going to lose a few. But you got to win your big games. Florida State was our pick of the week. 2 weeks ago, it was Northern Illinois over Notre Dame, plus 2,000. Last week, it was Notre Dame, crushing Purdue. This week, it was Florida State. They took care of business. We banked. We made money. But I got to talk about hedging because we had I put it out Saturday night. I called it the late night slam parlay, where we took Tennessee money line. We took Mississippi, Georgia Southern over 59.5. We took Florida State money line, and then we took BYU plus 13.5 for a plus 387. If we had taken BYU money line, that would have been probably plus 1387. Some guys did. Some guys sprinkled the money line on BYU. Smart move because they just smashed Kansas State. Whenever you play BYU in Mormonville, you got to look at it because that's a team that covers. That's a good, solid team. They don't turn the ball over. They don't make mistakes. An awful lot like Army. But look, we had that parlay at plus 387. So Tennessee's just kicking ass. They're spanking. Florida State has 4th down situation. In California, they stop them. So that game's done. It's in the bag. I'm looking at Georgia Southern and Mississippi, and I'm looking to hedge because BYU's up like 14-0, and we got them plus 13.5. So I'm looking to hedge the over-under on Mississippi, Georgia Southern. 59.5. The score was 45-10, I think, with like 9 minutes to go. That's 55 points. And I'm looking, and Mississippi's rolling, just moving the ball down the field, and the over-under goes to 68. We have 59.5, goes to 68. So I put a decent-sized bet on the under. The under, even though we have the over to hit this parlay. Over-under moved to 68.5. Mississippi scored. So now it goes from 45 to 62. We got our over. I think they ended up hitting another field goal to get to 65, but they never hit 60. We hit both sides of that. We hit both sides. We had the under and the over, and that's why I do this. It's live betting. You couldn't do this back in the day. You couldn't call your bookie Sal and say, "Hey, this is duck under chin 48. I want to switch my bet." No, man. Those guys stopped answering their phones after a certain time. I mean, you were just in it, but now you can hedge, you can make moves, and that's what we did on that. And Saturday ended up being a good day. The guys all hit that late parlay. Um, People had Florida State. It ended up being another good day. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, I'm sure we'll have a down one, but we're on a roll right now. So look, join the Discord. $24.99 a month. Go to whop.com. The Degenerate Gamblers. Go to Howie Dewey on YouTube. Subscribe. Got a ton of more content coming out. We got guests coming on this show. It's going to be wild. It's going to be wild. So Saturday ended up being a profitable day. It would have been nice if Ohio could have pulled that out. It would have been a huge day if Ohio pulls that out. A huge day because I am in a couple parlays that would have hit big. But it is what it is. We still ended up having a good day, and you don't look at the past. You move forward. Let's crush it this week. Anyway, what did we learn? What did we learn from last week? Well, we learned that we were lucky we didn't bet North Carolina. Woo! What was that? James Madison 70, North Carolina 50. Poor Mac Brown, who I have respect for, good college coach. I suppose he walked off the field and was headed right to his car. Said, "This is it, I'm done." Guy's like 73 years old. The chancellor, president, they talked him into call. You can't leave, man. You got to come back and coach this. Just how do you give up 70 points in North Carolina against James Madison? I mean, James Madison lost a lot off of last year's team. Lost their coach, lost a couple great players, and they spanked North Carolina. North Carolina. Let me explain something to you. North Carolina is a dangerous team this week. That's a wounded wolf that's in the corner. That's a wounded wolf. It's got nothing to lose. Right paw's coming off. He's ready to fight. That's a horrible analogy I just used. A wolf in a corner? Like, when would there be a wolf in a corner? I don't know. You're going to hear some stupid shit on here sometimes. But anyways, North Carolina is a dangerous team. They really are. What do I want to play them this week? I think these guys probably are embarrassed. They got to feel bad for the coach. Hopefully they come back. I think they will. Another team you got to look at now. Opening game this year. Clemson got buried by Georgia. Clemson has done nothing but just destroyed everybody since then. They buried NC State Saturday. The team's playing well. You got to look at them. You really do. The other team you got to look at is this. I just said South Alabama earlier. I don't know why. Kentucky goes to Mississippi this weekend. Kentucky is good. They got grown men on that team. That game in Mississippi could be interesting. Kentucky has a good defense. This will be the best team by far Mississippi's faced. You watch Mississippi against Georgia Southern, they gave up some big plays. I mean, the game looked one-sided, but I think this game this weekend could be interesting. Memphis, picked to possibly win the Big 12. Lose to Navy? You lost to Navy? Yeah, right off the bat, Navy got on them. You don't mess with these military teams, man. I'm telling you. Air Force, Navy, Army. Army's legit this year. Army's legit. How about this one? Buffalo beats Northern Illinois, who beat Notre Dame, which we called 2 weeks ago. That doesn't look good for Notre Dame. Buffalo beat Northern Illinois, who upset Notre Dame in Notre Dame. How are you going to get in the playoffs, Notre Dame? I don't know. The other team I'm looking at, and I've been looking at these guys for the last 2 years, is LSU. LSU struggled against UCLA, a bad UCLA team this Saturday. They ended up, winning by 2 touchdowns. I'm going to go over them this weekend. I don't love this team. Another team you got to look at this weekend for a bounce back. Pay attention. Auburn. Auburn lost 14-24 to Arkansas. What did they turn the ball over? 65 times, I think. No, it might have been six times, 3 interceptions, fumbles. Uh, I felt bad for Hugh Freeze, the head coach of Auburn. That quarterback hit 2 or 3 receivers. I'm talking the ball, these footballs were bouncing off their numbers. They couldn't catch anything. They asked Hugh Freeze, what do you say to the receiver? He's like, I don't know, catch the ball. But that's how they lost. Another team I like going into this weekend, got to watch them. They went down to Blacksburg, Virginia. They spanked some ass. You got to look at Rutgers, man. Rutgers is no joke. They're solid. I mean, it could be interesting when they get into some of these big 10 teams, and you see a higher line. You got to look at Rutgers. So let's look. We're into week 5, guys. We're into week 5. Right off the bat, here we go again Thursday with one of my favorite money makers, Army, minus 12.5 playing at Temple. God, it looks like a trap game. I mean, Army should cover that. They should go in and win by 40, but something's wrong there. 12.5. Temple is not good. Got to do a little research on this. I got to make some calls on this one. I'm not saying anything. I'll have something Thursday, that's for sure. That over-under looks interesting too at 45.5. Very interesting. I see a lot of clock running in that game. And Friday, we have another one. The other team I didn't mention, one of the top contenders in the country. You can't overlook Miami. Miami is no joke. Quarterback's up for the Heisman. They're just blowing teams out. They have athletes. It looks like the old you. Virginia Tech goes into Miami Friday night, plus 17. Virginia Tech is not that good. Rutgers just beat them. I'm leaning towards the Canes there. I really am. Friday, I don't know why we have the Big Ten battle. Newly Washington, solid team. Washington out of the old Pac-12, going into New Jersey Friday night, playing Rutgers. Rutgers is -3. When's the last time Rutgers has been favored? I mean, I don't know. Rutgers is -3. Kind of like him there just because there'll be a lot of degenerates at that game. In New Jersey, Friday night, -3. I'll get back to you on that. Then we get into it Saturday. Right off the bat, Saturday at noon. This is an interesting matchup. You have BYU playing at Baylor. Baylor's -2.5. BYU coming off that huge win. I don't like to bet against BYU. I don't. I don't have a lean that game. None. None whatsoever. I do have a lean in this game. Noon. Minnesota plays at Michigan. Minnesota's not bad. Michigan just beat USC. Very close game. Michigan's -10 against Minnesota at home. I would think that line would be 14.5, maybe 15. Throwing link 10. Trap game. I'm going underdog, baby. I'm going underdog. Minnesota. Absolutely. Then we have some huge games. Kentucky at Mississippi. Kentucky's going to Mississippi. Mississippi's laying 17 points in Kentucky. Are you kidding me? The field goal kicker from UK, University of Kentucky, the field goal kicker, he may have 17 that game. It's going to be a high-scoring game, I think. University of Kentucky will try to slow it down a little bit, but they can score. Field goal kicker kicks from 70 yards in. He's a beast. Got to be the best kicker in the country. I see him keeping that game with a 17. I see a ton of good games here. Look, go to Whop, Whop.com. Join the Degenerate Gamblers, $24.99 a month, man. Myself, the legend, Evan Han. We got guests coming on this thing. We have NFL going out tomorrow. We had a pretty good weekend. I look at this next game right here. You got Georgia Southern playing Georgia State. Georgia Southern coming off a beatdown against Mississippi. Georgia State is not bad. I want to say they beat Vanderbilt earlier. Well, almost beat Missouri in overtime this weekend. But Georgia Southern's actually an underdog. This isn't really an away game. They're in Statesboro. The game's in Atlanta. It's the 3-hour drive. Probably 75% of the kids that go to Georgia Southern are from Atlanta. They'll probably have more fans than Georgia State at this game. Um, I love this game. I love this game. Could be my pick of the week. I don't know. I'm not going to say it yet, but I really like the game. Another game you got 3:30 on Saturday. Wisconsin going out to California, Pasadena to play USC. Just came off that loss at Michigan. They're going to be out for blood, which is why the line is 14. 14 against Wisconsin. They probably cover that. Yeah. Um, I'm looking at a few other games here. Look, this is a game you got to look at. This is a game you have to look at. Oklahoma just got beat by Tennessee. Wasn't a huge blowout. I mean, the game wasn't really close. Could Tennessee have beaten them by more? Probably. Uh, Oklahoma goes into Auburn. Auburn has looked horrible. Horrible. Why are they only 3-point underdogs against Oklahoma this week? Are you kidding me? I love Auburn. I like them to win this game. They have good players. They just, if you watch the game, everything you can do wrong, they did wrong Saturday. I think they turned the ball over 5, 6 times. Still were in the game against Arkansas. Now they play Oklahoma in Auburn. Auburn's +3 at home. Practice is not going to be good this week. I'm sure these kids will be catching a few balls because they didn't catch shit. They didn't catch a cold on Saturday. I like Auburn in this game. I really do. Here's another good one. You got Louisville going into Notre Dame. Louisville's solid. Yeah, they're good. Just beat Georgia Tech. Notre Dame is -5. I'll get back to you on that one. You probably know where I'm leaning. Um, and here's another great game. We got good games this weekend. This is the best weekend so far for college football. Colorado goes down to Central Florida, Orlando, Central Florida, UCF, the largest college in the country. Look it up. The largest college in the whole country, bigger than Ohio State, Penn State, all of them, as far as student population. University of Florida is -14.5 here. They're good. Not gonna lie, they're good. Remember they came back earlier and beat Texas Christian, and we hit that plus 31,000 parlay. I love Central Florida. I love them. I'm a little biased, but I like them. 14.5, I'll buy a point. I'll get it down to 13.5, and I'll take Central Florida, no doubt. Here's a scary game too. I'm a little jacked up on coffee today. I've had a little bit of coffee. Carolina, who lost by 20, 70-50. To James Madison. Let's keep it North Carolina right here. UNC goes to Duke. Duke is a -3 favorite against the Tar Heels. This isn't hoops. This is football. It's not college hoops. Duke's not very good. Everybody's on Duke. This is a scary game. Like I said, North Carolina. Remember that stupid wolf analogy that I used? Really dumb. North Carolina's backed into a corner, man. I like them here, +3. Mac Brown, they're going to do it for the coach. This poor guy was headed to the ocean, man. He's about ready to take a raft and try to get to fucking Honolulu. There's another really bad analogy. All right. I like North Carolina in that game. We get to the 4 o'clock game, Mississippi at Texas. They're going to lose by 100. They are bad. Look here, Stanford. How about Stanford has to fly to Syracuse, fly back to California? What do they eat? A quick breakfast or lunch in California? Because now they got to fly back to Clemson. They play Clemson 7 o'clock Saturday night. I would not want to be Stanford. No, they beat Syracuse. Okay, now they got to play Clemson, who's just fired on all 12 cylinders. Maybe I'll say 15 cylinders. Did they make a 15-cylinder car? Did they ever? I don't think so. But anyways, Clemson's -22.5. Maybe get it down to 21. I see some nice tease situations this weekend. I really do. Ohio State playing at Michigan State. Ugh. Here's the big one. Here's the big one, and I'm going to be all over this game. Pay attention. University of Georgia goes to Alabama. This is the best game in the country so far this year. Two of the top 5 teams, legit top 5 teams in the whole country are playing. They are. Georgia could be 1 or 2. They have Texas 1. I don't know. Texas or Georgia's 1 or 2. Alabama's right there, 3 or 4. These are just athletes. There's more NFL draft picks playing in this game Saturday night, 7:30 in Alabama than you will see all year. This will be a good game. I have a lean on it. I have a lean on this game. Georgia on the road, -2 favorite. We'll talk about this one Saturday. Join the Discord, man. Get on there with us. Go to whop.com. Follow Howie Dewey on Twitter. Should I tweeted 100 plus 190 parlay Saturday? Go look at Howie_Dewey on Twitter and just look at the tweets. That's the great thing about the net, the internet now. You can't lie anymore. You can't say I was 7-0. No, because you can go back and look. You can look on the last 2 episodes of the Degenerate Gamblers. You can see what I liked and what I didn't like. You can make your own decision. So then we got Illinois playing at Penn State. Illinois with a huge win over Nebraska. Goes to Penn State. Penn State's -17.5. They're going to blow them out. I'd also hate to be Middle Tennessee State going into Memphis. Memphis losing to Navy. That's just saying I don't want to be in the playoffs this year. You lost to Navy. They are -24.5. I would hate to be Middle Tennessee. But there's another good game Saturday night. You got South Alabama, the Jaguars, baby. South Alabama just went and spanked Appalachian State, going to LSU, +20.5. I don't really love LSU. I don't. I've watched them every game this year. You know what I think of their coach? You ever see a coach from Notre Dame go anywhere else and be successful? It just doesn't happen. It doesn't. I'm gonna have some of you guys pissed at me. Lou Holtz, man, Lou Holtz. Lou Holtz went to South Carolina, and then when Steve Spurrier took over, I think when they have to bail out 21 felons in that jail, Lou Holtz had more felons than any college team I think ever. Well, you'd have to go back to the U, maybe Florida State. I don't know. We got a couple late games. Cincinnati playing at Texas Tech as an underdog. Cincinnati's been playing good ball. Here's another one. I don't even like this game. Florida State, after that bounce back, they got to go to SMU. SMU is good. And Florida State's +6 here. We'll have to do a little research on that game. Washington State goes to Boise State. Boise State -7. They're good. I can see Boise State running all over Washington State. But I'm not giving out all this info, man. You got to join. Look, I got an awesome team. Guys, some guys still coaching. Some guys retired. Guys I know for years, been doing this a long time. Go to whop.com. Go to Howie Dewey on YouTube, Twitter, Howie_Dewey. You get the plays, man. Go to Twitter. Put out one play this weekend. Army and Florida State +190. That's all you had to do. Just play that one weekend. Be +190. $100 on it, you almost doubled your money. I think we're gonna have another good weekend. I like the slate this weekend. We'll go over the NFL tomorrow on this show. That was a pretty good weekend too. If you're betting props, I'm gonna say this right now. If you're betting props in the NFL, Jesus, be careful because these quarterbacks, they're just not throwing for the yardage that they have in the past. They will. I think these numbers will come down, and the odds will favor some of these quarterbacks, but they're just not. I mean, looked at Patrick Mahomes last night. He didn't throw for what, 200 yards or 200. What do you get? Below 250, I think. But a lot of these quarterbacks. I watched. Who was it yesterday? L.A. The Chargers. What did Bird pass for? About 112. It's ridiculous right now. So, touchdown props, running backs, okay. Quarterback props, man, are getting smacked right now. A lot of these games are going under. You can't be afraid about the under. The under is a smart bet in probably most situations. But we'll get into that tomorrow as far as the NFL goes. College football, I'm not going to say we're crushing it. Just go look. Go look at the last 3 episodes. Go look at the plays. Join the Discord. Guys on there seem pretty happy. And we got good guys on the Discord, man. We have really good guys. Bring a lot of knowledge, a lot of betting knowledge, because picking games is one thing. Knowing how to bet's totally that's different. It's a different class. Knowing what to tease, moneyline parlays, value. Value is the ticket. Value is how we're making money on here right now. It's all about value bets. But anyways, it's going to be a good solid week. Join the Discord. Go to whop.com. Follow Howie Dewey on YouTube. Subscribe. It's free. Subscribe on YouTube for free. Go to Howie_Dewey Twitter. Let's bank. Peace.